on.
Take the camera out, make sure it doesn't fog.
Yeah.
You want Curtis? Curtis isn't really an internet guy.
No, he's not an internet guy.
But he does have the antidote.
It'd be awesome to do the whole thing sitting on the car line.
We're gonna find out that this is a federal crime, so how to kill these fucking carpenter bees.
Those two are about to fuck.
I don't know. I don't think they're fucking. I think they fight because, like, you'll have one. Ah, missed him. You'll have one. You're bad luck.
No.
You'll have one that'll chase, and it's crazy. Like when one starts chasing the other, they like warp speed. They go so fucking fast that you physically cannot see them, and then one comes back, and then the other. I need them a little high. Oh, motherfucker.
Oh shit.
I was trying.
No
I don't want to
damage.
hit the.
Didn't want to hit the bulbs.
I kill these things every day. Now there's the camera. There's no accuracy.
No accuracy to your stick.
Okay, so this video is about the anonymous little shit talkers through the EDC. It's worse in the knife and EDC community than it is even the gun community, or culture, or whatever you want to call it. You guys know, you've seen. I'm not talking about any particular one shit talker, and like something went down on Talk Soup recently, talking shit about. Ben got involved with it, and there were dudes talking shit on there about it, and talking shit about a friend of ours over at Pipe Hitters Union. And then on the heels of that, they called all that in. Like, they fucking withdrew. They didn't want any part of what was about to happen with that shit. It shut that down. That dude removed his post, and a bunch of his little bitch followers were like, we're unfriending you. So fucking what? Talk Soup doesn't sell anything. He loses a fucking few followers on Instagram or Facebook. He doesn't have a product. He loses fucking nothing. He's just a fucking asshole that talks shit about a bunch of people. You got this. There's a guy called Safecracker, constantly talking shit about Jaeger. Never met Jaeger. Never taken a class from Jaeger. Hasn't taken any classes from that, how it appears. There's a myriad of these dudes. Well, what has happened is, as somebody says something about it, another industry company pops up and goes, yeah, we're tired of that dude too. So what has happened is we have chased most of these dudes down, and we now know who most of these guys are. So the next show we're going to be at the Blade Show, and with it being worse in the EDC community and the knife community, what I'm proposing is we're going to print photos of these guys, and we're going to put their screen names on the photos, because these guys go to these knife booths, they go to the gear company's booths, and they stand there and talk to you as though they're fucking friendly with you, and then they go out and talk all kinds of shit. And what you're going to find out when we put faces to these names, these are all dudes that everybody in the industry knows. So it's time to fucking remove that fucking anonymity to them, and take away their fucking ability to hide. They want to talk shit. Talking shit's one thing. When you walk up to a man and talk shit, or you use your fucking, at the very minimum, use your real name. Everything I post on the internet is under my name. These guys have multiple accounts and multiple names, so it's time to fucking remove that shit. You had some good shit. What were you saying?
Oh, so the problem with most of these guys is, like John said, it's one thing to talk shit or to have a disagreement, but they take it to the extreme where they're like, they start attacking people's wives, or they talk about, hey, if we met somewhere, I'm going to kick your ass. And like he said, they're doing it under the cover of, Jack Reacher 21. And it's really just some fat guy. That's a pretty good hit.
That was one.
It's really just some fat guy, loser in his basement eating a peanut butter sandwich that his mom just made him. And they're doing it because there's no repercussions. So my idea is, back in the 80s, late 80s, I think, there was a movie called The Star Chamber with Michael Douglas in it. I believe it was Michael. And basically what it was is you had these 5 judges that would get together, and they would bring their worst cases. And then the 5 judges would vote, and if they all voted in favor, then they would send an assassin out to kill. They would send out an assassin to kill this criminal, whatever. So my idea is we get 5 different people within the industry, and they bring their worst they bring their worst cases in, and then they vote, and then we send Jay and Silent Bob to their house to beat the shit out of them. That's my idea. Because there's no repercussions. That's the only reason why people are doing this. Because they think they can sit in their house, talk all this mad shit, and no one is going to show up at their door. That is what's wrong with society. It's kind of like, just recently you had those, I don't know what, the Democratic Ku Klux Klan that are running around in their black hoods.
Antifa.
You just had an Antifa thing where this chick is going around throwing glass bottles with M80s at Trump rally people. She's physically committing a felony.
A federal offense.
Yeah, physically committing a felony, and some veteran punches her right in the face before she throws another one. And everybody's like, oh, you should never punch a woman. Bullshit, that is not true. If you want to act like a man, then you need to get treated like a man. I don't care if you have tits. Remember, you're all out there wanting equal rights. Well, that's part of equal rights. If you want to act like a man, then you need to get treated like a man. And she got exactly what she deserved. And it's the same thing with all these guys hiding in their basements. If you're, like I said, Jack Reacher 21. Sorry, Jack. I know you're really cool, but if you're Jack Reacher 21, hiding in your basement, talking about kicking people's asses and threatening wives and doing all that stuff when you have really no interest in whatever you're talking about, like, Marfion. You're not a knife maker, you don't buy knives, you don't sell knives, yet you feel like you have a right to talk shit. You don't have any rights to talk shit, and that's why we should send Jay and Silent Bob to go kick their asses. Now, Silent Bob's kind of a big deal nowadays, so that might cost a little more money, but I'll bet Jay would do it for reefer.
Heroin.
Heroin, is that his thing?
He was I don't know now. He was a big heroin guy, and he kicked it when they came out to make Clerks Part 2. He had fucking gone through rehab and shit and had his shit together. Then he did like Jack and Mira Make a Porno or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Marfion thing, I didn't even know they existed. There's a Facebook group called Knife News. Marfion sued somebody. I believe he won. I don't even know the whole gist of it. But by the time I saw it, there was hundreds of comments in there of people against Marfion and aligning themselves with like a Walmart knife company, like Benchmade or Gerber or whatever. Benchmade's a little higher end, I guess, but Kershaw. I think it was Kershaw. So you've got all these dudes in there talking about what a douche Marfion is because he sued Kershaw, and what a piece of shit Tony is because he sued Kershaw. All these dudes are like, I'm never buying your knife. Well, when I asked the question, well, do you own any of them? No. Well, then what the fuck did Tony lose? Other than all you motherfuckers, because a bunch of us showed up and started saying that. There's a dude, his name of his knife company is Budget Knife Company. And he's like, I'm never going to buy a Marfion. I go, you're not even qualified to be in this fucking conversation. The name of your company has budget in the name of it. It's Budget Knife Company is your name. Like, you weren't ever going to buy any fucking Marfion knives anyways. Your demographic is sub-$100 knives. That's what it is. Let's face it. And more power to you. That's your deal. But to show up and go, well, because you sued Kershaw, I'm not going to buy any. You weren't going to buy any shit anyways. Yeah. All them dudes in there. You look at all their photos, and there's no fucking Marfion knives in there. There's no fucking Strider knives. Mission Knives, it's owned by a new company now. We used to make sheaths and hanger systems for Mission Knives. The Seals were on this kick, fucking 2000, before 2000? Everything had to be low mu. Everything had to be titanium, non-magnetic signature, and the only place they could get it fucking blessed for the Navy, they had to take all this equipment to fucking Hawaii to have it mag particle tested or whatever they were doing with it, and then fucking stamp this detent in it. So Mission was one of the only knives that would pass low mu for the Seals right before SDV and all that shit stood up. Or not SDV, but MSM, VSW MCM, whatever Gosney was spearheading before, which became USAW pretty much.
Yeah.
So they needed this fucking knife, and so we met the owner of Mission Knives who made the MPK knives, these titanium knives. They were great for the application. They were a terrible knife. Dead duck, slice the dead duck in half. It had some serrations. The teeth would be all bent. It's because titanium's a soft metal. Titanium is not a good fucking knife metal. It's beautiful. It's a fucking piece of artwork. I have titanium knives in my pocket all the time because they're fucking nice. It's like wearing a Rolex. You're not going to take that motherfucker out and, you know, fucking go off-roading and fucking, you know, work on trucks and shit with that stuff on. So they did this huge, his business was failing. He had the Navy contract, but he could not sell his knives for the life of him out at gun shows and knife shows. So they did this 6 months market research. He hired some marketing company that does market research for Coca-Cola, spent all this fucking money, and they came back and told him, the knife market has these areas in it. You have your $99 knife and under, and they sell a fucking ton of them. And then you've got this weird area between $200 and $399. So it's like between $200 and $400 basically. And they said there are no knives in that market. And that's where Mission was. They were selling their knives for like $300, $375 something. And they came back and they go, if you want to succeed in this business and you want your sales to skyrocket, you have to do one of two things. You have to be a sub $99 knife, or you have to be a above $400 knife. So what did he do? He raised his prices $100. And then the next 90 days, they sold more of those knives than they did the whole entire year before that. It's just that market, and that's where these guys are. They're in that fucking weird limbo. You're either a fucking cheap knife, you know, company or reseller, or you deal in fucking high-end shit. If you don't like Tony, that's one thing. But to go on there and say, well, I don't like these guys. But the deal is, you've got a few of these dudes who have these big fucking internet followings that talk shit about all these dudes. And by making this video and going public, other people in the industry are going to see this, and they're going to come forward with another, because we've got a lot of the information. We know who several of these dudes are. There are people in here who he's fucking offended, or they've been friends with, or whoever they are, that's going to have another piece of the puzzle. And we're going to start putting this fucking puzzle together, and we're going to fucking put the names up of these dudes behind these fucking, like there used to be a company, there was a Facebook page early on, Gun People That Hates Gun People. I think that's what it was called. And they always talk shit about Jaeger and any other dudes in the industry and shit. Well, we hired one of their friends, worked for us. And turns out, all three of the dudes on that page were constantly at Jaeger's house. They were constantly staying in the team room. They were taking classes for free. They were here constantly. James even made one of them, and one of them was even an instructor, and now has some little shooting school he's trying. The dude he was a gay dude, came out, he was talking about fucking killing himself. He told James, I would have fucking killed myself had you not given me a place to be and a place to belong. And that dude lived at James's house for like 6 months. That was one of the dudes talking shit on that page. It's the Anonymity. As soon as those dudes got named, we hired his fucking buddy to work for us. And he worked for us for about 6 months, and that was a whole nother fiasco. But he dimed all them dudes out. Fucking told us who every one of them was. And it's always amazing how close you are to those guys. It's always fucking surprising. And that's why just nothing fucking surprises me anymore. I'll throw something at you and you're like, there's no way that can be. I'm like, come on, man. Have I, like, literally, if I've told you that 100 times, how many times have I been wrong?
Never. You're never wrong about that stuff.
So that's what this video right here is about. We're just looking for other dudes to jump on board. And it's time to remove those fucking guys. They can do whatever they want to say. They can say whatever they want to say. They can fucking hold their flags and their signs and stir up shit, whatever it is. But what you can't do anymore is do it anonymously, because we're going to find out who you are, and we're going to put that out there. And your pictures are going to be hanging up at Blade Show. We know who like Safe Cracker. We know who the fuck you are. Your picture's going to be up in multiple fucking booths. So all those lines you stand in to buy those knives that you flip, those days are over for you, buddy. You little fucking bitch. I know you're going to be at Blade Show. There was another one. We have so many, and a lot of these dudes I've never even fucking heard of. But when I start looking at them, the shit they're talking about, fucking our friends, the hiding is gone. You're not going to fucking do it behind it. You're going to use your real name from now on, because everybody's about to know who you guys are. You got anything to add to that?
No, that's perfect.
Throw that video up. Fuck those guys.